You were chosen, not everyone was. The 144,000 have heard the call. The 4 angels have descended, each carrying a message so profound it echoes through the veil that separates heaven from earth. Can you feel it? That undeniable shift in your soul? The stirring that whispers, everything is changing. The veil is thinning. The time is near. But this message is not for everyone. It is not for the ones still asleep, distracted by the illusions of this world. It is not for those ignoring the signs in the skies, the shifting tides, the urgency in the spirit. No, this is for you. You who have always felt the difference inside. You who have always known deep down that you were set apart. Have you ever wondered why your life has felt like a wilderness others couldn't understand? Why you carry a vision that others mock or fear? It's because your soul was marked before. The foundation of the world. You are not abandoned. You are hidden. Not rejected, but refined. Your awakening wasn't random. It was your signal. Everything you've endured has led to this divine moment. You are part of the 144,000, the remnant, the forerunners of the age to come. And now, the time to rise has come. The 4 angels have spoken, and their words will change everything. Once their messages reach your spirit, you'll never see the world the same again. Everything will shift. Everything must shift. Are you truly ready for what heaven is about to uncover? The world is unraveling before our very eyes. Even the chosen are being lulled into slumber, deceived by the illusion of peace. When was the last time you paused and truly looked, felt in your soul that something has gone terribly wrong? That a deep fracture has formed in the spiritual fabric of this age? That heaviness you wake up with? That unexplained sorrow? That sacred weight pressing on your chest? It is not in your mind. It is not depression. It is discernment. Your soul is sounding the alarm. This world no longer reflects the divine order God set in motion. Psalm 82:5 warns us, they know nothing, they understand nothing. They walk about in darkness, all the foundations of the earth are shaken. This is not a verse about the past, it's a mirror to our present and a forecast of what is to come. The battle has grown more cunning. The enemy has evolved. He doesn't come for your life, he comes for your focus. He doesn't need to destroy you, he only needs to distract you. And yet the fact that you feel this proves who you are. You are not like the rest. You were never meant to be. The message has reached you for a reason. You've been activated. Your divine calling is being drowned, buried beneath the noise of modern life. Relentless distractions, artificial truths, and the chaos of a world flipped upside down. Isaiah saw this day and cried out, "Woe to those who call evil good and good evil, who put darkness for light and light for darkness." And now that very inversion has become the cornerstone of this fallen society. You've always known you were different, haven't you? Like an eagle raised among chickens. Your wings aching to soar while those around you peck at the dust. You see what others dismiss. You feel what others ignore. Your vision reaches beyond the veil. The 144,000 mentioned in Revelation 7 weren't chosen by chance. They were appointed, you were appointed, before the foundation of the world, to stand unshaken when the earth begins to tremble. But how can you fulfill your divine mission while lulled into spiritual slumber by the very system designed to silence you? Revelation warns of a moment when the 4 angels, those holding back the 4 winds of judgment, will release them. That moment is no longer distant. If you remain asleep, if you continue to walk in spiritual amnesia, you may hear those dreadful words spoken in Matthew 25. "I never knew you." Your discomfort in this world is not a curse. It is your compass. It is heaven's GPS, pulling you back to your original design. You were never meant to blend in. You were born to awaken others, but there is still hope. The 4 angels have come, not to comfort, but to awaken. Their messages are not for the faint of heart, but for the courageous, the watchful, the chosen. If you are willing to receive them, they will not just change you, they will reveal you. And now the first message approaches. It begins with the most fundamental revelation of all. Who are the 144,000? Have you ever felt like you don't belong here? That you're merely passing through a world that feels foreign to your spirit? That sense of exile isn't madness, it's recognition. You're not losing your mind. You're remembering your purpose. Revelation 7:4 declares, "Then I heard the number of those who were sealed, 144,000 from all the tribes of Israel." These are not relics of the past. They are God's elect, souls handpicked before time itself to rise in the final hour. They walk the earth now. And if these words stir something deep in you, you may be one of them. Look at your life. Have you endured rejection that cuts deeper than words can explain? Faced trials that felt tailored to test the very core of your being? Felt alone, even in a room full of people, because no one truly sees you? These aren't punishments, they're confirmations. Joseph was betrayed by his own blood. David was overlooked in the field, left out of the lineup. Jeremiah carried divine truth that made him weep in solitude. You walk in their legacy. Because comfort was never your assignment. Calling was Ephesians 1:4 reminds us. For he chose us in him, before the creation of the world, to be holy and blameless in his sight. Before your first breath, heaven had already marked you, set apart, anointed, sent. That emptiness you feel chasing worldly success, that's not failure, it's a divine alarm. That whisper inside saying there must be more, that's not doubt. It's recognition. Those dreams you've been afraid to speak aloud because they seem too big, they aren't fantasy. They're blueprints of your divine assignment. The 144,000 are not marked by status or success. They are marked by discernment, the ability to see through the smoke, to feel the tremors before the quake. They sense truth where others see illusion. They see light behind the darkness. You've always noticed things others missed, haven't you? Truth buried under lies, warnings hidden in plain sight. This sight wasn't given for your comfort. It was given for your commission. Matthew 22:14 says, "Many are called, but few are chosen." Not every soul can carry the weight of heaven's assignment. But the fact that you're still standing, still seeking, still burning, says you might be one of the few. Signs of the chosen. You feel different, not by choice but by design. Rejection finds you, not because of your flaws, but because your presence disrupts spiritual apathy. Fulfillment for you doesn't come through applause, it comes through alignment. Trials haven't broken you, they've refined you. Peter 4:12 warns us, "Dear friends, do not be surprised at the fiery ordeal that has come on you to test you as though something strange were happening to you." These trials are not setbacks, they're preparation. Now the 4 angels stand at the 4 corners of the earth. Their messages are ready, and they will alter the course of history. But these words are not for everyone. They are for the called, the set apart, the refined by fire. Esther 4:14 echoes through time. "And who knows but that you have come to your royal position for such a time as this?" If your spirit is stirred right now, then say it. You are chosen. You are called. You were never meant to live an ordinary life. You were never meant to blend in. You were meant to ignite. And now, as the 4 angels prepare to release their messages, one question remains. Will you embrace the call etched into your soul before the foundations of the earth? Or will you continue to hide what heaven is ready to reveal? Your moment of decision has arrived. The first message begins with this. Look into your life. From your very first breath, the world began its campaign of deception. You were conditioned, not created, for what you were told to desire, pursue, and become. But pause and ask yourself, was any of it ever truly yours? Now the endless pursuit of comfort, the constant striving for validation, the relentless chase after wealth that never satisfies. You followed every rule, checked every box, and yet something still feels missing. That emptiness you feel, it's not a flaw, it's a sign. In John 15:19, Jesus declared, "If you belong to the world, it would love you as its own. As it is, you do not belong to the world, but I have chosen you out of the world." Those words weren't just for his disciples 2,000 years ago. They were meant for you. That discomfort you've always felt, that sense of not quite belonging. It's because your spirit was never meant to be confined by the artificial systems of this world. The restless longing within you is proof that your soul was not designed to be imprisoned by the rules of men. Consider the story of Moses. Raised in the luxury of Pharaoh's palace, he had access to every comfort, every privilege, every advantage. By all worldly standards, he had made it. Yet something inside him remained restless. Though he had everything the world said he should want, he knew he was meant for more. When the time came, he had to make a decision. Continue living a lion, comfort, or step into his divine mission to lead his people to freedom. His journey mirrors your own. What false identity have you been living in? What comforts have been keeping you from stepping into your true calling? Look at the celebrities who seemingly have everything, yet fall into despair. Robin Williams brought joy to millions, but battled a deep and painful void. Whitney Houston's voice touched hearts around the world, yet she couldn't find peace. Their stories remind us that worldly success does not equate to inner fulfillment. The world has conditioned you to seek validation, to measure your worth by the opinions of others. But Galatians 1:10 asks, am I now trying to win the approval of human beings or of God? If you are constantly living for the applause of men, you will always be at their mercy. Is that the life you want? To be controlled by the judgments of those who are spiritually blind? Consider Daniel, who refused to be swayed by the opinions of kings or the threats of those in power. When commanded to stop praying, he did not seek the approval of men. He stood firm in his faith, even when it meant being thrown into the lion's den. It wasn't the validation of men that saved him. It was the hand of God. The parties, the fleeting highs, the endless distractions, none of it truly fills the emptiness inside. This world offers counterfeit joy, but only God offers true fulfillment. Ecclesiastes 1:14 says, I have seen all the things that are done under the sun. All of them are meaningless, a chasing after the wind. Deep down, you already know this to be true. How long will you allow yourself to be deceived? How many more years will you waste pursuing things that can never satisfy your soul? There's a reason you've always felt different. Like an outsider looking in, from an early age you sensed that something about this world was off, that the way things worked didn't quite add up. You tried to fit in, to follow the rules set by society, yet deep down something inside you resisted. That resistance wasn't rebellion, it was revelation. You are waking up to the deception that has blinded the masses for generations. Isaiah 5:20 warns, woe to those who call evil good and good evil, who put darkness for light and light for darkness. You were never meant to bow to a broken system built on lies. But the only way to break free is to recognize the illusions for what they are. What are you clinging to that no longer serves you? What mindsets, habits, or relationships have kept you asleep when you were meant to be awake? This is your moment of reckoning. Heaven is waiting for your response. Will you remain entangled in the falsehoods of this world? Or will you embrace the truth that has been placed before you? The first angel's message has been given. Now you must decide. But before you do, listen closely. There's more you need to hear. The second angel brings a message that will explain why you've always felt so alone, even in a crowded room. Message 2. Stand apart. Do you not see it yet? The world does not love you because it was never meant. 2. You've spent years wondering why people mock you, why they misunderstand you, why they push you away. But this rejection is not random. It is not a curse. It is confirmation. They can sense what you are, even if they cannot put it into words. They see something in you that unsettles them, something that does not conform to their ways. And so, they turn against you, not because you have done wrong, but because you do not belong to them. Jesus himself warned of this in John 15:18-19, saying, if the world hates you, keep in mind that it hated me first. If you belong to the world, it would love you as its own. As it is, you do not belong to the world, but I have chosen you out of the world. That is why the world hates you. Have you ever wondered why your presence makes some people uncomfortable even when you say nothing? Why some turn against you for no apparent reason? It's because you are different, and they can feel it. The darkness that rules this world recognizes the light inside you, and it fears what you will become if you fully step into your calling. Consider Joseph the dreamer. His own brothers despised him, not because he had harmed them, but because they sensed the divine favor upon him. His very existence was a threat to them. So they betrayed him, sold him into slavery, and thought they had destroyed him. But what they meant for evil, God used for good. Genesis 50:20. What if your rejection is actually your redirection? What if every betrayal, every loss, every misunderstanding was God's way of setting you apart for something greater? Look at your life. How many times have people withdrawn from you after you spoke truth? How many friends disappeared when you refused to compromise? How many doors closed when you stood firm in your convictions? The enemy has tried to convince you that something is wrong with you, that you're the problem, that if you would just be more agreeable, more flexible, more willing to bend, then you would be accepted. Listen carefully. You are not the problem. You are the threat. They fear you. They fear your light because it exposes their darkness. They fear your wisdom because it cannot be manipulated. They fear the way you walk into a room and shift the atmosphere without uttering a single word. Have you noticed how people become uneasy in your presence, even before you speak? It's because your spirit carries something they cannot understand but instinctively recognize. The enemy knows you have the ability to discern beyond the surface, to see through deception, to expose hidden agendas. And that is why they turned against you. Jesus himself faced this same opposition. In John 8:45, he said, "Because I tell you the truth, you do not believe me." The world could not accept him because he revealed what they wanted to keep hidden. And now the same battle has found its way to you. Your loneliness was not a curse. It was preparation. Every season of isolation, every time you felt abandoned, every moment of rejection was a refining fire. These trials were never meant to destroy you. They were meant to strip away every false attachment, every dependency on the approval of man, so that you would learn to seek only the approval of God. Just as David was overlooked and forgotten by his own family when Samuel came looking for Israel's next king, you too have been prepared in obscurity, trained in solitude, shaped by rejection. And when your time comes, you will be ready. The time for apologizing is over. No more shrinking yourself to make others comfortable. No more silencing your voice to avoid offending those who cannot handle the truth. The world has tried to make you believe that being different is a burden, that standing apart is something to be ashamed of. But the time for dimming your light is over. Stand apart. Let them talk. Let them misunderstand. Let them stare. Do you really think their opinions define your purpose? Do you believe their approval determines your worth? You were not sent here to be liked. The great ones, the ones chosen by God, have never been accepted by the world. If you have ever felt the sting of rejection because of your faith, if you have ever stood alone while others walked away, if you have ever been mocked for speaking truth when others embraced lies, then know this: you are exactly where you are supposed to be. Your isolation is not your weakness. It is your credential. The world may not celebrate you today, but you were marked for something higher. The darkness has known it from the moment you were born. That is why the attacks have been relentless. But do not mistake opposition for failure. It is proof that you carry something this world cannot comprehend. The second revelation has been given. You have been set apart for a reason. The time for hiding is over. But now you must ask yourself, what will you do? What will you do with this revelation? Will you continue to seek the approval of those who cannot see your purpose? Or will you embrace the calling that heaven has placed upon your life? If you are ready to step into your divine purpose, without apology, without hesitation, without fear, comment "I'm ready" below. The third angel now approaches with an urgent message that cannot wait another moment. Time is near. You must awake. America is asleep while the spiritual battle reaches its zenith. The four angels have arrived, standing at the four corners of the earth, and their messages thunder across the heavens. Can you hear them? Their voices shake the very foundations of this world. Look around you. Something profound is happening in the spiritual realm that most will never perceive. The world continues in its hypnotic rhythm of distraction, politics, entertainment, the endless pursuit of comfort, while heaven's most urgent communication in generations goes unheard. But you feel it, don't you? That unexplainable heaviness in your spirit, that sense that something monumental is unfolding, that knowing that transcends logical explanation. For decades you felt like an outsider. You've wondered why you see what others cannot, why your heart breaks for things others ignore, why you've never quite fit into the patterns of this world. The Bible speaks clearly in Romans 12:2. Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Your nonconformity wasn't a mistake. It was preparation. Think of Moses, raised in Pharaoh's palace, yet never belonging. Consider Joseph, betrayed and forgotten in prison before his divine purpose was revealed. Remember Elijah, standing alone against hundreds of false prophets. On Mount Carmel, they were chosen, set apart, just like you. Revelation 7:4 speaks explicitly of the $144,000. Then I heard the number of those who were sealed, 144,000 from all the tribes of Israel. These aren't just ancient words on parchment. They're a divine blueprint unfolding in our time. Let me ask you directly, why has your life been marked by such extraordinary challenges? Why have relationships that seemed certain suddenly dissolved? Why have paths that appeared promising unexpectedly closed? It wasn't failure. It was divine protection. Every disappointment, every closed door, every inexplicable rejection All of it was shielding you, preparing you, positioning you for this precise moment in history. The angel's first message is clear. Come out of her, my people, so that you will not share in her sins, so that you will not receive any of her plagues. Revelation 18:4. The hour is later than you think. In a country paralyzed by division and spiritual blindness, you've been preserved with eyes that see and ears that hear. This is not coincidence. It is consecration. But here's the hard truth that few will tell you. Knowing is not enough. Many, before you recognized their calling, but hesitated. They waited for a more convenient season, a clearer sign, a perfect moment that never came. Moses initially resisted at the burning bush, saying, "Who am I that I should go to Pharaoh?" Exodus 3:11. Gideon questioned his calling, protesting, "My clan is the weakest, and I am the least in my family." Judges 6:15. Jonah ran in the opposite direction, boarding a ship to Tarshish when Nineveh was his divine assignment. There, hesitation nearly cost them everything. Will yours? The second angel's message demands urgency. Fallen, fallen is Babylon the Great. Revelation 14:8. The systems of this world, its values, its promises, its securities, are collapsing before our eyes. The institutions you once trusted are revealing their true nature. The stability you once counted on is proving to be illusion. Yet in this moment of global upheaval, you've been strategically positioned. Before I reveal the third angel's message, let me ask you, how much longer will you wait? How many more signs do you need? How much more confirmation must heaven provide? I've counseled thousands of spiritually sensitive souls across this nation, from Manhattan to the Midwest, from Seattle to the Florida Keys. The pattern is always the same. Those who hesitate often miss their divine appointment. Remember the parable of the 10 virgins in Matthew 25. 5 were prepared when the bridegroom came. 5 were not. When the unprepared finally got ready, the door was shut, and the bridegroom responded, "Truly I tell you, I don't know you." Some moments, once past, cannot be reclaimed. The third angel brings a warning about allegiance. If anyone worships the beast and its image, they too will drink the wine of God's fury. Revelation 14:9. Every day your allegiance is being tested. Every decision either aligns you with heaven's purpose or pulls you toward the world's systems. There is no neutral ground left. I can see it clearly. You are standing at the threshold of the most significant spiritual awakening of your lifetime. The fourth angel is about to deliver the final message that will reveal exactly why you were chosen before time began. But before that message is unveiled, you must decide. Will you step fully into your calling as one of the 144,000? Or will you be remembered as one who recognized the signs, but failed to respond? The time for hesitation has ended. The moment of divine commission has arrived. Message 3. Obey. Now time is running. You no longer have time to wait. The hour of hesitation has passed. The third angel's voice thunders through the air, shaking the very foundation beneath you. Enough waiting, enough second-guessing, enough asking, searching, looking for yet another sign. The truth has already been revealed to you. The mission has already been placed in your hands. You already know what you are meant to do. Now do it. How many more confirmations do you need? How many more times must you hear the same call before you finally step forward? Moses stood before the burning bush, questioning, doubting, asking God for reassurance. Yet God had already chosen him. Who am I that I should go to Pharaoh? Exodus 3:11. But it was never about who Moses was. It was about who God is. And the same is true for you. Stop waiting to feel ready. Stop waiting for permission. God has already sent the call. Now you must answer it. Have you ever noticed how some people waste years, even decades, waiting for the perfect moment that never comes? Steve Jobs once said, "Your time is limited, so don't waste it living someone else's life." If he had waited for the right circumstances, the right conditions, the perfect opportunity, he never would have changed the world. But he acted, and now the choice is yours. Delay is the enemy's greatest weapon against you. Every second of hesitation is a doorway for doubt. The longer you wait, the more your confidence erodes. The enemy wants you trapped in uncertainty, paralyzed by overthinking, waiting for some moment of absolute clarity that will never come. What if the clarity you seek will only come once you move? The longer you wait, the more fear gains power over you. What if Moses had let fear stop him at the burning bush? What if Esther had remained silent, afraid to approach the king? What if David had stared at Goliath and thought, maybe I should wait for someone stronger? They did not wait. They stepped forward. And because they did, God moved. Hesitation does more than feed fear. It closes doors that were meant to be yours. Have you ever looked back on an opportunity you missed, realizing too late that it was meant for you? Ecclesiastes 11:4 warns, "Whoever watches the wind will not plant. Whoever looks at the clouds will not reap." If you keep waiting for the perfect conditions, you will never move. And if you do not move, how will you ever receive what was meant for you? The Israelites did not see the Red Sea part until they walked toward it. The walls of Jericho did not fall until they marched in obedience. Miracles follow action. James 2:17 reminds us, faith by itself, if it is not accompanied by action, is dead. You do not have time to delay any longer. Heaven is moving. The divine plan is unfolding. And if you do not move with it, you will be left behind. This is not the time to hesitate, to second guess, to wait for another sign. The doors that are opening will not remain open forever. The opportunities before you are not guaranteed to return. If you do not step forward now, how many blessings will pass you by? Yes, the road ahead is uncertain. Yes, stepping into the unknown is terrifying. But when has faith ever been about certainty? Abraham was called to leave everything behind and follow God to a land he had never seen in Genesis 12:1. Did he have a map? Did he have proof of what was ahead? No. All he had was the voice of God and the faith to follow. And because he obeyed, his life became the foundation of a covenant that still stands today. What if he had waited? What if he had delayed? What if he had let fear keep him in the land of familiarity? Your obedience will unlock miracles. Have you considered that the breakthrough you're praying for is waiting on your first step of faith? The enemy wants you stuck, afraid to move, afraid to fail. But what if the only real failure is refusing to act at all? Every moment you hesitate, the enemy seizes as an opportunity to plant more doubt, more fear, more reasons to convince you that you are not ready. Every time you tell yourself, "I just need more time," you are unknowingly surrendering the very ground that was meant to be yours. How many victories have been stolen because God's chosen ones hesitated at the threshold of their breakthrough? How many battles have been lost not because of the enemy's strength, but because of delayed obedience? Understand this. No one who has ever been called by God has felt completely ready. Not Moses, who feared his own voice. Not David, who was just a shepherd boy when he was anointed king. Not Esther, who questioned if she had the courage to stand before the king. And yet God did not choose them based on their confidence or preparedness. He chose them because they were willing. Do you see the pattern? Your readiness is not measured by how prepared you feel, but by your willingness to trust the one who called you. The angels are not standing before you to question whether you are qualified. Heaven is not waiting for you to present a list of achievements proving you deserve this calling. God already made his decision. You were chosen, not because you are perfect, not because you have all the answers, but because your heart is willing. The only question left is, will you step forward? Will you answer the call that heaven has placed upon your life? Or will you let this moment, this divine opportunity, slip through your fingers? The fourth angel is waiting with the final message, but you cannot receive it until you first answer. This call to obedience. Heaven is watching for your response. What will it be? Message 4. Speak the truth. Let your voice shake the world. The fourth angel now stands before you, enveloped in light so blinding it pierces through every darkness. His message burns like fire. Your voice was forged for this moment. You were never meant to whisper when God placed a roar inside you. The enemy has worked tirelessly to silence that voice, making you doubt, making you question whether your words carry weight. But hear me now. Your voice was set apart long before you drew your first breath. Jeremiah 1:5 declares, "Before I formed you in the womb I knew you. Before you were born I set you apart. I appointed you as a prophet to the nations." God didn't anoint you for silence. He anointed you to declare, to shake foundations, to break chains, to awaken those lulled to sleep by the world's deceptions. Have you felt it? That burning in your chest when falsehood spreads unchallenged? That heaviness when you know the truth, but keep it locked inside? That is not coincidence. It is confirmation. Look at John the Baptist, a voice crying in the wilderness. Did he shrink back when the religious leaders questioned him? Did he soften his message when Herod was offended? No. He stood firm until his final breath, because he understood his purpose wasn't popularity, it was proclamation. Isaiah 58:1 commands, "Shout it aloud, do not hold back. Raise your voice like a trumpet. The systems of this world feed on your silence. Every moment you remain quiet, deception grows stronger. Evil flourishes when good people say nothing." Remember Martin Luther King Jr.'s warning. Our lives begin to end the day we become silent about things that matter. This spiritual principle extends far beyond civil rights. It reaches into the very battle for souls happening right now. When God opens your eyes to see what others cannot, that sight comes with responsibility. Ezekiel was told, "When I say to the wicked, 'You shall surely die,' and you give him no warning, his blood I will require at your hand." Ezekiel 3:18. Do you understand? Your silence isn't just about you, it affects those God has sent you to reach. I know why you've hesitated. The fear of rejection, the anxiety of standing alone, the painful memories of times when you spoke up and were dismissed. I understand. Truly I do. But what if Moses had remained silent before Pharaoh? What if Esther had never approached the king? What if Peter and John had kept quiet when ordered to stop speaking about Jesus? Acts 4:20 gives us their answer. We cannot help speaking about what we have seen and heard. The enemy trembles when the chosen ones find their voice. This is why he's fought so hard to silence you. Not because your words are weak, but because they carry the weight of heaven itself. Thus, visions you've seen, the revelations you've received, the discernment you've been given. None of it was meant to be hidden. They were entrusted to you because God knew that when the moment came, you would speak. Look around you. We are witnessing unprecedented deception. Families divided, truth distorted, good called evil, and evil called good. If not you, then who will stand? If not now, then when? Your words carry power that can break chains that have bound people for generations. Your testimony contains keys that will unlock prison doors for those who cannot free themselves. Isaiah 55:11 promises, "So shall my word be that goes forth from my mouth. It shall not return to me void, but it shall accomplish what I please, and it shall prosper in the thing for which I sent it." When you speak heaven's words, they do not evaporate into the air. They accomplish God's purpose. They penetrate hearts. They transform lives. Chosen one, open your mouth and let the fire of heaven flow through you. No more hesitation. No more fear. No more silence when God has given you a voice that can shake the foundations of darkness. As we prepare to close this divine encounter, I ask you to make a declaration, not just with your fingers typing, but with your spirit aligning with heaven's purpose. Comment below, "I am ready to speak the truth." Let this be your covenant with God, that from this day forward you will no longer allow fear to steal what heaven has placed within you. The time for silence has ended. Your moment to speak has come. Now, as we bring these 4 angelic messages to their conclusion, let us seal this divine appointment with a prayer that will forever mark this moment as the turning point in your divine calling. Time is running out. The divine call demands your response. Now that we've explored these 4 angelic messages together, I must speak directly to your spirit about what happens next. This isn't just another video to watch and forget. This is a divine moment of decision that will determine your spiritual destiny. Look around you. Do you see how rapidly things are changing? The world's systems are crumbling. Confusion reigns. Those who once seemed certain now wander in darkness. Revelation 12:12 warns, "Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and the sea, for the devil has come down to you having great wrath because he knows that he has a short time. That time is now. The enemy knows what's happening. He feels his grip loosening as God's chosen ones awaken to their calling. That's why the attacks against you have intensified. That's why the spiritual warfare in your life has reached new levels. I need to ask you directly, how long will you hesitate between 2 opinions? How long will you stand at the threshold of your destiny without stepping through? The prophet Elijah confronted God's people with the same challenge in 1 Kings 18:21. How long will you falter between 2 opinions? If the Lord is God, follow him. But if Baal, follow him. This message isn't for tomorrow. It isn't something you need to consider when things are more convenient. The angels haven't arrived with suggestions. They've come with divine mandates that require immediate response. Let me speak a hard truth few are willing to say. Delayed obedience is disobedience. When Moses stood before the burning bush questioning his worthiness, God didn't comfort his insecurities. He commanded his obedience. When Jonah ran from his calling, the storm didn't wait for his convenience. It threatened everyone connected to him. Your hesitation isn't just affecting you. It's affecting everyone God intended to reach through you. The 4 angels have delivered messages that require action. You must break free from worldly deception. You must stand apart without apology. You must obey without delay. You must speak truth with boldness. These aren't optional suggestions. These are divine requirements for the 144,000 who will stand in these final days. Perhaps you're thinking, I'm not ready, I need more time. But consider this, Moses wasn't ready, David wasn't ready, Esther wasn't ready. None of God's chosen ones felt qualified when their moment arrived. They simply obeyed. Hebrews 11:8 tells us, by faith Abraham, when called to go to a place he would later receive as his inheritance, obeyed and went, even though he did not know where he was going. That's what makes the chosen different. Not their readiness, but their response. I know many of you can feel it. There's a stirring in your spirit that won't let you rest. You tried to silence it. You tried to ignore it, but it keeps returning. This unshakable sense that you were created for something greater, something that matters in eternity. That restlessness isn't a coincidence. It's a divine summons. Will you answer it, or will you be like the rich young ruler who walked away sorrowful because he couldn't let go of what was comfortable? Matthew 22:14 reminds us, many are called, but few are chosen. The difference isn't in the calling, it's in the response. The chosen don't just hear the call, they answer it. They don't just recognize truth, they act on it. They don't just feel the stirring, they surrender to it. This isn't a game. This isn't entertainment. This is a watershed moment in your spiritual journey. The angels have delivered their messages. Heaven is waiting for your response. I'm asking you right now to make a declaration, not just with words typed on a screen, but with the full conviction of your spirit. If you recognize that you are among the chosen, if you feel the divine calling upon your life, if you're ready to step into the mission heaven has prepared for you, type, I accept the mission in the comments below. This declaration isn't just for others to see, it's a spiritual line drawn in the sand. It's you telling heaven, I'm ready, use me, I will no longer delay. For those who respond, what happens next will astound you. Doors will open that were previously closed. Divine connections will form. Spiritual gifts will activate. The very purposes for which you were created will begin to unfold before you. But you must respond now. Not tomorrow, not when things are more convenient. Now, remember the words of Mordecai to Esther. And who knows whether you have not come to the kingdom for such a time as this? Esther 4:14, this is your moment, this is your time. Heaven is waiting. Will you accept the mission? Final message, the awakening of the chosen. This is the moment everything has led to. The signs, the stirring in your soul, the trials, the revelations. None of it has been random. Every closed door, every betrayal, every moment of spiritual discomfort has been shaping you, preparing you, refining you. You are not broken. You are becoming. The fire you've walked through wasn't meant to consume you. It was meant to awaken you. The 4 angels have spoken. Their voices have echoed across eternity. Their messages have not just called you, they have unveiled you. You are not who the world told you to be. You are not what your failures tried to label you. You are not the sum of your past. You are one of the 144,000, chosen, called, consecrated. This moment, right now, is holy ground. Heaven is not waiting for a future version of you. The mission was never for the person you would eventually become, but for the one you are becoming now through obedience. Your yes carries weight in heaven. Your surrender has set a ripple in motion across dimensions. You have been called to rise in a generation asleep, to speak truth in a world that rewards silence, to walk righteously through a culture that has normalized compromise, to carry a fire the world cannot understand and darkness cannot extinguish. Look around. Can you feel the urgency? Nations tremble, systems collapse, deception deepens. And in the middle of it all, a remnant rises, not loud by volume, but thunderous by spirit. That remnant is you. This isn't about religion. It's not about perfection. It's not about performance. It's about alignment. It's about hearing the call of heaven and answering. You were never meant to be hidden in the background. You were born for such a time as this. The spiritual war raging around you is not new, but your role in it is now being revealed. You were not sent to merely survive this era, but to transform it, to carry the authority of heaven into the darkest corners of culture, family, community, and destiny. And now God is no longer whispering. He is roaring. He is shaking everything that can be shaken so that only what is eternal will remain. And you, chosen one, are being summoned into the storm, not to be destroyed by it, but to stand in it, to declare, to intercede, to obey, to shine. Because when God raises up his chosen, he doesn't do it quietly. He sets them ablaze. Moses parted seas. Esther turned the heart of a king. David silenced giants. Elijah shut the heavens. You are cut from the same spiritual cloth. This same spirit that raised Christ from the dead is now awakening inside you, not for comfort, but for commission. Let go of the excuses. Lay down the fear. Break agreement with the lie that says you are not enough. The heavens are watching. The angels are waiting. And the world is desperate for what you carry. No more delay. This is the threshold. You have heard the messages. Come out. Stand apart. Obey. Speak truth. Now there is only one thing left to do. Step into it. Step into your mantle. Step into your divine appointment. Step into your fire-forged identity. Step into your eternal purpose. Let the old self fall away. Let what no longer serves your calling be cut loose. Let every lie that said you were too small be silenced in the presence of your assignment. This is not a season of survival. This is the season of the rising. You are not forsaken. You are not forgotten. You are not unqualified. You are chosen. And now your voice will echo the sound of awakening. Your life will declare the glory of the one who sent you. Your obedience will become a weapon in the hands of the Most High. This is your commissioning moment. Heaven is recording your response. The angels are standing by. Will you rise? Will you go? Will you speak? Let every delay be shattered. Let every chain be broken. Let the kingdom within you be released. This is not the end of the message. This is the beginning of the mission. Comment below. I accept the mission. I was born for this. Because you were. Let the world take notice. Let darkness be put on alert. Let heaven rejoice. The chosen have awakened, and nothing will ever be the same again.